Welcome to Tamarack's How To. Today we check in with Tamarack Art Gallery Manager Baker Halstead as we learn the proper way to hang a picture.
Hello, today we're going to show you how to hang a picture at eye level so that no matter what size or shape your paintings are, they'll be right in the perfect line of vision. Okay, before we get started, here are some things you're going to need. A pen and paper, a hammer and nails or picture hooks, a level, a tape measure, something to mark your wall with like tape or a pencil, and if you're going to hang a few pictures, grab some string. Next, you want to establish where your center line is going to be. Your center line is usually determined by the average person's eye level, so that's normally between 57 and 60 inches from the floor. Our gallery walls are a little on the tall side, so we're going to go ahead and mark them at 60 inches on the floor. And this is where you're going to get your tape or your pencil to mark that measurement. I'm going to use a push pin since we have carpeted walls. So this is where your eye is going to fall at this point right here. If you want to hang a series of pictures, you can measure up 60 inches or whatever measurement you feel is the best eye level for you at multiple points and tie a string or tape a string to the wall so that way you don't have to measure up every picture that you do. Or you can use a laser level. So as you can see, we went ahead and made a line. So this signifies 60 inches from the floor, which we're going to use as our center line. And we're going to start with hanging this beautiful photograph by Mark Muse of a bowl of apples. And ultimately what we want to do is make sure that this line dissects this picture perfectly. That way, no matter how tall you are, you're probably looking at the center of the picture, no matter how it's oriented. And even bigger pictures, it'll all be done in a harmonious way. So in order to do that consistently, there's just a few mathematical steps we have to follow. The first thing you want to do is find out the height of your picture. So for this example, we're going to use our measuring tape here. And this frame is 14 inches tall. So what we want to do is we want to divide that by 2. So we're going to have 7. Okay, next you want to measure the distance between the frame and your wire. So pull it up nice and tight, get your measuring tape, and measure the distance there. So on this one, we're about 1.5 inches. So what you want to do is you want to subtract that distance from the first distance. So 7 minus 1.5 inches is 5.5 inches. So now you want to go back to where you want to hang your picture and you have your center line or your center mark. Make sure you have your pencil or your tape ready because you're about to mark where your nail's about to go in. So with our picture, we need to remember the measurement 5.5 inches. We go to our center line and we're going to measure above it 5.5 inches. And we're going to make our mark right there. That's where we're going to put our nail. So if you don't have a center line, just remember to measure up the distance from the floor, 57 to 60 inches, and add that measurement to that. Now we're ready to put our nail on the wall. So you want to take your nail and put it in right where you had your mark. So pull this out. Put it there, and you want to hammer it in at an angle so that your picture doesn't slip off the nail. And you want to do it kind of close to the wall so that you're not piercing the back of your picture. So just hammer that in a little bit, make sure that it's secure, and you're ready to hang your picture. You can also use one of these picture hanging hooks, but just remember that you want the base of the hook to go where your mark is, not the nail itself. So now that you have your nail or your hook in the wall, you're ready to hang your picture. So just put it up there and slide it down gently so that you don't miss the nail, you don't drop it, and then level it out. And in the end, you should be dissecting it perfectly with the line of sight so that it's in the best point of view. So you may run into a situation where you should be using 2 nails to hang your picture instead of just one, like this larger piece by Ginger Dan's. So I'll show you how to do that. It's pretty much the same thing as before. You want to get the height of the picture. So for this canvas, it's 30 inches, and you want to divide that by 2. So 30 divided by 2 is 15, so we're working with 15 inches. Now, instead of getting your measurement from the middle of the wire to the top of the canvas, you want to spread it out a little bit where your nails are actually going to be. So for this, I'm going to go, you can kind of just estimate to see which is best. I think this is about 8 to 10 inches here. You pull it pretty tight, and we're looking at 11 inches, so 15 minus 11 is 4. We're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to measure up from our center point. Again, for us, that's 60 inches from the floor. We're going to take our measurement of 4 inches, and we're going to put our marking there, but we're not going to drive our nail in here just yet because we're going to use 2. So the distance on the back of that picture I measured was about 10 inches between my fingers, so we're going to go out about 5 inches from there, make your mark with your pencil, your tape, and then go do the same thing on the other side, about 5 inches. Make sure you're level, looks pretty good, and then you'll drive your nails or your hooks in the same way that you did before. We nailed our nails into the wall at the points we measured, a little bit at an angle, and we're ready to hang. So you just want to get your hand on the wire here and slip it over the nails. You want to make sure that it's caught on both of them, and if it's a really heavy picture, have someone help you so you don't drop your piece. And then just level it out again. And again, it should be dissected perfectly by your line. Okay, and last but not least, you just want to make sure that your piece is level. So you want to check the bottom and one of the sides just to make sure everything is hanging evenly. And that's it. And that's how you hang a picture or a series of pictures consistently at eye level. Thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting West Virginia artists and artisans at Tamarack, the best of West Virginia. And make sure you stop by the David L. Dickerson Fine Arts Gallery.